The internet is trembling tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because what began as rumors has now blown up into a full-fledged betrayal storm. Yes, Papoose, the most devoted husband in hip-hop and a former icon of love and fidelity in the rap industry, is said to have split from Claressa Shields. Additionally, he revealed her secret affair with her ex in a popular article, in the messiest way possible. Let that sink in now. The self-described GWAT of boxing, Claressa, who advocated for hard work, discipline, and loyalty, was discovered sliding into the arms of an ex-boyfriend while still showing off her engagement ring. Was the queen of the ring indeed this person? Or simply another famous person ensnared in her own deception? Blogs and screenshots are flying. Fans are yelling betrayal while they feast, according to one insider. Papoose didn't hold back after discovering the receipts. To ensure that everyone knew, he shared them online. So the issue remains, was Claressa truly living a parallel life? Or did Papoose simply want to exact retribution by setting her reputation on fire? One thing is certain, regardless of the reality, everything is going to change because of this controversy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the scandal that everyone secretly enjoys watching fall apart, but no one saw coming. Claressa Shields, the unbeaten GW, the poster child of strength, loyalty, and flawless relationship objectives, has supposedly been discovered in the most humiliating way possible. Additionally, not by a rival boxer, nor by a casual hater, no Tevin by the press, but by Papoose himself. Yes, the very Mr. Loyalty. The man who made a name for himself by supporting Remy Ma through jail time, criticism from the business, and an ending drama, has now become the whistleblower who completely upended Claressa's life. And how did it turn out? With a post that becomes viral. There was no private meeting, no quiet split, no press conference, just a social media bomb dropped for millions to observe. Captions, screenshots, and mysterious hashtags that cried treachery. It was disorganized, it was completely explosive and petty. But let's take a moment to rewind the tape. Why is this so a huge deal? Claressa Shields isn't your typical athlete. The two-time Olympic gold winner, the unbeaten champion, and the face of women's boxing. She referred to herself as the greatest woman in GWAT history. She has established a reputation for ethics and discipline. Her visage was plastered on billboards by eager sponsors. Fans viewed her as the epitome of tenacity, and networks waited in line to show her battles. In essence, Claressa possessed the kind of polished, strong image that companies aspire to. Then there is Papoose, the man who supported Remy Ma for years, even during her incarceration and during the uncertain period of her career. He was hailed as the pinnacle of hip-hop allegiance. If you're not as in love with me as I don't want Papoose's love for Remy to become a relationship goal, a meme, or a catchphrase. He was more than simply a rapper. He served as a model for loyalty in society. Therefore, it's more than just a scandal when Papoose posts on the internet that Claressa Shields is fooling around with her ex. There's an earthquake. This kind of treachery turns stories on their heads. Ladies and gentlemen, the story will tell itself if the king of fidelity says you are untrustworthy. Since this is where the mess becomes even juicier, let's now discuss the sex. The widely shared post claimed that Claressa wasn't merely texting a random high school acquaintance. Allegedly, she was meeting in secret with an ex-fiancé. Yes, the same man she was reported to have been on the verge of marrying before her boxing career became successful. Sources say the romance ended years ago on bad terms, but apparently the flame wasn't fully dead. The hazy images in Papoose's post purportedly show Claressa exiting a Detroit hotel lobby with a man whose face was conveniently partially concealed by a hoodie. Loyalty has an expiration date for some people. Don't get fooled by the ring when their hearts are still stuck in the past. The internet went crazy when another slide appeared to be a late-night FaceTime screenshot, with Claressa purportedly smiling at an unknown caller, and the caption, brutal. Twitter timelines were chaotic in a matter of minutes. The drama was too fantastic to ignore, but fans weren't sure if they should trust it or not. Jokes, memes, and conspiracy theories. It was a circus beyond the jokes. The stakes are huge. Claressa is supposed to be getting ready for another high-profile fight. Endorsements, sponsorships, training camps, everything is lined up, and now all anyone wants to talk about is whether she's sneaking around behind Tony Rich's back with her ex. One viral tweet read, "Claressa out here undefeated in the ring, but taking L's in the hotel lobby." Another simply stated, "Papoose exposing Claressa was not on my 2025 bingo card. You couldn't script this better if you tried." Claressa is still publicly engaged, and that diamond ring is still on her Instagram highlights. So this isn't just an affair scandal, it's a double scandal, cheating on a fiancé, while allegedly rekindling an old flame and being exposed by Papoose of all people. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the irony. Claressa built a reputation of discipline, loyalty and focus above all else, and her fiancé, Tony Rich, was supposed to be her anchor. He intended to give her an opportunity to come clean, but when she didn't, he decided to blast it himself, one person said, taking the story into a darker realm. Another said, the ex has been bragging about seeing Claressa again. He even flaunted jewelry that he claimed she had given him. The internet doesn't care if those claims are true, or just smoke to feed the fire. In the court of public opinion, perception is reality, and at the moment, it's thought that Claressa Shields may be leading a double life. Tony Rich, meanwhile, remained silent, not a single word, post, or even cryptic emoji. It's interesting because Tony usually enjoys being in the spotlight and hypes up Claressa whenever he can. His silence while Papoose is going viral on social media is deafening. Some fans think he's too embarrassed to reply, while others think he's collecting his own receipts. In any case, his absence only makes things worse. The most outrageous part is that some fans are actually siding with Papoose over Claressa. Think about it, the unbeaten GWAT, America's golden girl of boxing, and people are saying if Papoose said it, it must be true. That's the power of his loyalty image. It's not just his word, it's his brand. And if Mr. Loyalty is accusing you of lying, the public will believe him. Ladies and gentlemen, scandals, messy divorces, and celebrity love triangles have all been seen before. But this one has all the makings of a cultural meltdown, a loyal rap icon, an undefeated sports queen, a secret ex-lover, and a viral exposure post. It is betrayal, irony, drama, and receipts. The worst part is that this is just the beginning. Because if Papoose has already posted once, who's to say he doesn't have more? Screenshots, videos, private messages. Rumor has it that he's sitting on a mountain of evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought that Papoose's viral post was the climax, think again. Because once those screenshots were on the internet, the dominoes began to fall faster than Tony Rich's reputation when his own direct messages leaked. However, this time, the focus wasn't on Tony Rich but rather on Claressa Shields' TikTok. Creators began reenacting Claressa's alleged late-night calls with her ex. Twitter threads became 20-slide exposes, and bloggers became investigative detectives. One viral video featured a girl wearing boxing gloves slinking out of a hotel lobby, with the caption, "Undefeated in the ring, but caught slipping in the sheets." The most heinous aspect is that the receipts didn't end with Papoose's post. Nope. More so-called evidence began to surface when an anonymous account posted what appeared to be Uber receipts connected to Claressa's email excursions at 2 a.m. and addresses that matched the same hotel chain in the blurry photos. According to another leak, she sent her ex a $5,000 Cash App transfer with a memo for you. Blue heart. Whether it was real or not, it didn't matter. The internet had already decided that Claressa was guilty in the court of public opinion, and the insiders couldn't help but add gasoline to the fire. Another anonymous voice added, Papoose knew about this weeks ago. Claressa was tired of Tony constantly vying for attention, and she felt real again with her ex. He just went public since Claressa continued to pretend nothing had occurred. He wanted her mask to come off for everyone to see. Now, whether these sources are legit or just cloud chasers, the damage is the same. Fans are eating it up, sponsors are panicking, and Claressa's carefully built image is collapsing brick by brick. And ladies and gentlemen, the public reactions were vicious. One fan tweeted, "So Claressa trained all thesaurs to be the GW just to get knocked out by her ex's FaceTime call. Sad." Another person wrote, "Can you imagine cheating so badly that you have to be exposed by Papoose of all people? It's embarrassing." On trending charts, the hashtag CLORES exposed quickly rose to the top, alongside the new hashtag PAPOSE and the savage hashtag GW getting caught. Remy Ma fans jumped in, reminding everyone of how loyal Papoose was to her during her time in prison. Memes appeared with side-by-side photos of Papoose waiting years for Remy versus Claressa allegedly sneaking around in hotel lobbies with the captions, "Brutal. This man did a bid with his heart, and you couldn't even do a camp without cheating." However, the jokes didn't end there, as boxing journalists began to speculate whether the scandal could ruin Claressa's career. Claressa might lose the next, but if she doesn't have her mind in the game, sponsors also dislike mess. Millions could be lost by her. And what do you know, they may be correct. Because companies like ESPN and Nike aren't in the business of safeguarding tangled romantic relationships. They choose clean, marketable, and scandal-free victors. A scandal involving cheating that became viral. Investors are looking for the exact opposite. Tony Rich's silence, however, simply made matters worse. Fans were expecting him to post anything, clap back, or blow up. Rather, nothing, not a word. That quiet made headlines of its own. Was he made fun of? Was he involved? Was he aware of it already? A flurry of speculation broke out. Here's where things got darker, though, with one meme saying, "Tony Rich watching Claressa get exposed like I mouth eye." Online, some purported court documents claimed that unlawful finance transfers were the reason Tony and Claressa's joint business enterprises were being reviewed. Were they authentic? Most likely not. In any case, were they believed, of course. Claressa had already lost control of the story. Then the craziest twist appeared on Reddit. A weird clip appeared, distorted, grainy audio purportedly showing Claressa arguing with Tony. Perception is profit in the scandal economy. But the voice that people claimed sounded like hers yelled, "You don't give me what I need." He does. Real fake AI deepfake. Nobody knows, and that video quickly went viral. The reputation of Claressa's shield is currently not only under attack, but it is also on life support, so let's take a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Her background, titles, and medals are of no interest to the internet. They only see Papoose, treachery, and an untidy love triangle. She was exposed in the most unvarnished manner by the one man, who everyone vowed never to become involved in. Small-time drama, additionally, as people were munching on popcorn. Things were becoming even more repulsive behind the scenes. There were rumors that Claressa was under pressure from her camp to make a statement. According to boxing insiders, her next opponent's team was preparing to use the controversy as a mental warfare tactic, and sponsors were reportedly demanding answers. Imagine entering a press conference and instead of being asked about your fight strategy, every reporter asks about your affair. Claressa is currently dealing with that horror, however, it doesn't stop there. Ladies and gentlemen, because wait until you hear about the real-life impact if you thought the online roasting was harsh financial investigations, legal rumors, and the potential need for Claressa to decide between protecting her pride and preserving her profession. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, scandals cease to be gossip and become business. Furthermore, disloyalty is not tolerated in business. It wasn't just a sloppy Instagram photo that Papoose shared. It was a grenade, everything surrounding Claressa Shields is currently being engulfed by the explosion radius. First, let's talk about the sponsors. According to sources, at least two well-known firms discreetly halted future commercials starring Claressa within 48 hours after Papoose's viral post. An energy drink company reportedly canceled her promotional shoot, telling executives, "We can't afford messy headlines right now." Imagine that. Years of training, years of building a reputation as a gwet, and one scandal wipes it clean off the marketing board. That's how fast the corporate world moves. However, the story doesn't end there. Promoters of boxing are also anxious. Her upcoming bout, which was billed as a match that would define her career, could suddenly become overshadowed already. Commentators are practicing awkward questions. Rather than discussing your fighting plan, Claressa, how do you react to Papoose's assertions? When your personal life takes over your professional career, it's every athlete's worst fear. Then the legal rumors start to circulate. According to rumors, Tony Rich, the quiet fiancé who has been silently observing this entire circus, has been seen meeting with attorneys. Why? He's reportedly getting ready for a breakup. According to others, he is investigating Claressa's purported financial transactions with her former partner. Do you recall those money transfers that partially leaked too? Tony might be preparing to sue her for misusing joint finances if even half of that is accurate. Imagine losing your sponsor money, your fiancé, and your impeccable reputation all at once. Claressa is currently clinging to the precipice. In the meantime, Papoose has emerged as a hero to the populace, once a symbol of fidelity. The guy today represents purposeful exposure. He is being viewed by his fans as a cultural guardian, the individual who eventually removed the GWAT's mask. Thank you for exposing the truth, King. And real men don't cheat are among the comments that continue to appear on his post. They bring cheats to light. The irony. He didn't even need to mention her by name. No caption could overshadow the receipts. Let's not forget about Remy Ma, ladies and gents. She hasn't posted anything, left a comment, or even used the shade emoji. However, the internet has chosen to declare her the ultimate victor of this disaster, so her silence is strong as her husband publicly destroys the GWAT. Memes are already referring to her as the untouchable queen. Let's talk about the repercussions outside of the ring. One popular tweet stated, "Remy sipping tea while Papoose does what needed to be done, being focused, disciplined, and unstoppable was the foundation of Claressa's entire brand." The picture of a lady who refused to drama, who remained true to her people and her profession. However, betrayal taints everything once it becomes ingrained in your brand. Will she continue to be referred to by networks as the face of women's boxing? Or will they subtly move on to the next great thing and let Claressa handle the fallout on her own? Clarissa's squad is split. According to insiders, she should make a sad statement, refute the accusations, plead for solitude and concentrate on her training. According to half of them, the other part wants her to attack, to retaliate against Papoose, to accuse him of lying and to change the story. Here's the catch though. It's game over if she claps back too forcefully and more receipts fall. If she doesn't say anything, it will be a cry of guilt. There is a lose-lose scenario. Nevertheless, we are discussing Clarissa's Shields here, the woman who called herself the Quad, who battled her way out of poverty, and who broke through every barrier the sport threw at her. She is the one who can make a scandal into inspiration, according to some sources. She is even organizing a press conference to control the narrative rather than to refute or clarify. For a day, Papoose can be popular. Picture her approaching the platform with belts behind her and declaring, "I fight in the ring, not in the tabloids. I will always be remembered." Mic drop. Will that be sufficient, though? That is the crucial question. Due to the internet's limited memory, indeed. However, scandals like this do long-lasting damage. People won't simply mention Claressa Shields, the unbeaten boxing champion, in years to come. Claressa Shields, the champion who was exposed by Papoose, will be mentioned, and no athlete wants to be followed by a shadow like that. What comes next, then? Legal disputes with Tony, sponsorship withdrawals, more Papoose receipts, or Clarisse making the big comeback in the media and in the ring. This is where rumors turn into history. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just about hazy images, hotel lobbies, or direct messages these days. Reputation, empire, and whether the Gua can withstand the most devastating blow of her life, not from an adversary, but from treachery, are at stake here. Because history won't remember her unbeaten streak if she can't. It will recall her demise. And believe me, there will be more leaks in the future. A whirlwind, ladies and gentlemen. We witness Papoose, the king of loyalty, enter the gossip ring and reveal a shocking revelation that rocked Clarissa's mighty empire. We've seen screenshots, murky hotel rumors, enigmatic audio snippets, and a viral post that made the unbeaten GWAT the unbeaten trending scandal subject. Here's a reality. Regardless of whether you think Clarissa is guilty or not, her reputation will never be the same. Here's the more important query, though. Now what? Does Clarissa make a strong comeback? Try to regain her position as queen and deny everything? Or is there more ammunition that Papoose has yet to unload? More betrayals, more secrets, more receipts. What about Tony Rich, the reticent fiancé whose self-esteem was recently crushed? Will he remain in the background? Or will he come forward and bring Clarissa before the judge? It's more than simply drama. History is being made here, a secret, a boxing legend, and a symbol of loyalty. Symbol of loyalty. Affair that can cause everything to fall apart. This type of scenario demonstrates once more that the biggest blows in the realm of celebrity don't land in the ring, rather. They land in the newspapers. It's your time now. Is this just another clumsy attempt to undermine Clarissa Shields? Or do you think she has been leading a double life? Did Papoose play the same clout game as everyone else? Or was he being heroic for revealing the truth? Leave a comment below with your opinions. Every word is being read by us. And hit the like button if you want to be informed of every development, leak, and scandal before the mainstream media ever considers them, because the truth always comes out. Ladies and gentlemen,